Hey guys, welcome to our podcast, movie review podcast this time. So today we are going to be talking about, for me, the best movie of 2024. I know that Manjumal Boys and Maharaja come really close to each other. For Aafreen, it is Manjumal Boys, which is the best, and Maharaja, which is the second best. Vijay Sethupathi, I mean, I've seen a lot of his films, and Aafreen has seen one film more than me of Vijay Sethupathi, Deluxe, right?
Super
I
deluxe.
Super Deluxe. I haven't seen that movie, and but still, I'm a huge fan of Vijay Sethupathi. I'm a Tamilian, and I understand Tamil. So when we went to watch the theater, I didn't have to pay attention to the subtitles. I had zero idea about the movie. I think both of us had zero idea about the movie. We didn't watch a single trailer, single clip of the movie. We didn't know the background of this director who had made a very good movie before that, which we saw later, and we might be talking about it in the future podcast. At least I'll be. So there was a lot of similarity between his first movie and second movie, especially the way he cut the movie. But since he had not seen his first movie, all of that was a surprise to us. So we go to the theater, we sit, and we start watching the movie, and slowly and steadily we are amazed by everything about the movie. I mean, every single thing, right? The way the movie progresses. Just to give you an idea about what happens without spoiling the movie, because there are so many spoilers, I don't want to spoil the movie at all. The movie begins with Maharaja, with the character of Vijay Sethupathi in a barber shop. There is some antakshri of sorts going on, and that's when Vijay Sethupathi is expected to complete the song. Right, it's his turn, and he asks for a leave, and his owner is like, I can't give you leave, who will work? But somehow he gives him a leave. At the same time, there is a man who enters the barber shop with a dog, and so that's a very shot that you will remember, that there is a man with a dog that enters. Cut to, we see Vijay Sethupathi standing in a toy shop and trying to buy a toy, and we see his wife and child on the opposite side of the house. She's sitting inside that house, and he's choosing some toys and he's showing it to his wife, and she's like, no, not this one. And as soon as he shows it, we see a truck crashing into that house, and that's it. We see the shock on Vijay Sethupath's face, and we assume that all of them inside the house have died, the child and the mother. But in the next shot we find out that the child has survived, and there was this dustbin, a metal dustbin, and there is a shot of that metal dustbin before we see the truck crashing. We see the shot of a metal dustbin exactly above where the child and the mother are sitting inside that house, and there is a focus on that as well. So there is a lot of I forget the term here, but the director uses this method. He foreshadows. Yeah, foreshadows is what I was looking for. He foreshadows a lot of things. So he will show it to you, and then that thing would happen. Then you would know, okay, that's how it happened. So apparently that metal dustbin falls and protects the child, because of it the child doesn't die. So Vijay Sethupathi and the child literally worship that dustbin. Like, the dustbin becomes a goddess, and she's
Protector.
named Lakshmi. And she's named Lakshmi, and they are every day doing a puja to her. And then we see the growth of the child. The child is like in her teens by the time the movie progresses. I'm saying these things because this is not going to spoil the movie. This will just give you an idea about what is to happen. And now the child goes for a picnic. Cut. We see Vijay Sethupathi living alone in his house, and one fine day he just gets up, and we see that things are helter skelter inside his house, and he's injured. He's got some injury and all. He goes to the police station, and he complains to the police that there was a robbery in his house and that his dustbin was robbed. Now, this is majority of the premise of the movie. The reason I had to tell you all of this backstory is to come to the major premise of this movie, which is Vijay Sethupathi being hell bent to get the dustbin back before his daughter comes back from a picnic. It's a picnic or some kind of education trip which is going to last for a
Oh,
week
it's
or so.
a tournament that she's gone to play.
Oh yeah, sorry, I missed that. Thanks that you remembered it. So yeah, so by the time she comes back, he has to get the dustbin. So he's going to the police station. Literally, okay. There is one more foreshadowing of his character. Um, he is extremely adamant, to the extent, even if he's beaten, even if he can
The whole world
stand
tries
his
to.
ground. Yeah. So like, what has happened is the principal of the school that the daughter is studying in says that she's done something wrong, and they reprimand the daughter and Vijay Sethupathi. By the end of that conversation that the principal is having with Vijay Sethupathi, it is proven that it was not the daughter who did that mistake. And Vijay Sethupathi asked the principal to apologize to his daughter. And the principal is like, "Are you kidding me? Why should I apologize?" Vijay Sethupathi does not leave that place and he
So
holds
he
to,
helps on to a
yeah,
collar,
he
and there are like 10
holds,
people who are trying to say, leave it, don't argue with the principal, and they're
and
trying
people
to
are pulling him, the security guards
loosen
are
the
pulling
grip
him,
on
but
the collar.
he doesn't leave it, and he's so adamant till the principal actually eventually has to say sorry, right? I
No, the
think.
column is held so tightly by him that it is kind of the base that is holding the roof. So the roof almost starts to debacle and falls on the principal's head. So he's like, my school is just going to fall down. So let me just apologize. Like, okay, I'm sorry. Like, don't demolish my entire school for this. And so he says, he apologizes to the doctor.
Exactly. So this is the foreshadowing of Vijay Sethupath's character. So the same stubborn character is shown in the police station, where the entire police station is kind of making fun of him. How can this guy complain about a dustbin being missing? As an audience, we know why this dustbin is extremely important to him. It's literally the savior of his child's life. But we still find it very amusing, and we understand how amusing it could be to the people inside that police station. The thief and everyone is like, what is he saying? And then we have a corrupt police officer who leads the police station, but the corrupt police officer is like a Robin Hood. He loots the people who are rich and distributes that loot to the poor. So that's once again a foreshadowing of that police officer's character. And that police officer comes to the station, and I think he slaps him and he asks him to leave, but we still see him come back and a lot of things keep happening, right? And finally, I mean, so the movie moves from here, right? And
No,
then,
but because he keeps coming back and saying that the dustbin was lost, he thinks that there must be something inside the dustbin, like a lot of jewelry or something, to have him come back again and again and again and again. So there's a lot of conspiracy theory which is built by the police that it's not the dustbin, it's something inside it. It must be made
yes.
of gold and plated with iron, like
Nee,
millions of
one
people.
more important thing is he is ready to pay them, and in lakhs. He's ready to pay them in lakhs. So
Entire
apparently,
life
over
savings.
the years, he's owned that barber shop that he used to work in, and we know that he has a lot of money now. I mean, he's been saving, through this is white money that he has, and he's been saving. But these guys are like, if he's ready to spend lakhs of rupees and he's bribing us to get that dustbin, that is surely this is going to be something more than it. There has to be crores of rupees hidden somewhere, and he's not telling us about it, right?
Hmm.
And now the story keeps moving on. There are a lot of different things that keep happening. We have the angle of Anurag Kashyap. We see Anurag Kashyap as a thief, and he has his gang. I mean, just two of them, right? Two of them, and they loot people, and they're shown as real barbarians of sorts. We see in one of the loot, he doesn't rape the woman there, Anurag Kashyap's character, but the guy who is with him, he's the one who goes ahead and uh, rapes a woman, but he gives them a go ahead. Okay, you can go ahead and rape. There's a teenage girl who he rapes, a mother who he rapes, and then they kill the people. And after every loot, Anurag Kashyap picks up something from that house as a memento. And we see in one of the scenes that the dustbin was in Anurag Kashyap's house. So obviously, we start thinking that, there is some connection. He's probably stolen the dustbin. But the story is not as straightforward as it seems. There are so many. I mean, it's like that onion, right? You keep peeling a layer and a layer. There are new layers that keep coming. And then after a point of time, you realize that the story is not linear. It is completely non-linear, and then you have to start connecting the dots. And there was a point when I was able to connect all the dots somewhere in between the movie. Like if it's a 2 hour movie, in the first hour I was able to connect all the dots, and I think I told Afreen about it at that point, or towards the end. I told you about
Yeah, he
the
told me and he spoiled the entire movie for me. I was like,
I
what
mean, technically speaking, I didn't spoil the movie because I also did not know what was going to happen. But I guessed what is going to happen, and I told that to her, and she was
Yeah, you
very,
should have
very
kept it to
disappointed.
yourself.
Yeah, but I had to brag, right? I knew this thing 1 hour into the movie. Anyways, we don't want to spoil that for you, and that's why I'm not going to brag here. I just want to let you know that I was able to guess, but it was still, sometimes what happens is when you guess who the villain is, or when you guess the twist in the plot, if the twist is so wonderful, you are okay with it being the end, or with it being the twist. So in this case, even though I had guessed the twist, I was very happy when the same thing actually happened. And so the movie, I mean, if we reveal anything more, but we can say there's a lot of comedy in the movie, because the scenes between Vijay Sethupathi and the police officers and all the people around is very funny and amusing, right? So that creates a lot of laughs. The movie is extremely emotional. He repeats this entire robbery scene at least 4 to 5 times in the movie. Every time he repeats it to different people. In fact, the people around are like, we've heard the story so much, we know it by heart. And then he repeats it one more time. The last time that he repeats the story, I can bet every single person in the theater will cry when he repeats a story at that point, the last time when he repeats it. So it really, really tugs your heartstrings. Feel, you feel super emotional in some of the scenes, and the ending is extremely satisfying. Extremely satisfying. This is the most satisfying ending you would get. There are two things that are satisfying. One, the absolute climax of the movie, and then one just before the climax, where the police officer is also involved in giving you that satisfaction. So all of these things come together, and I mean, it had, as I said, since it had everything, it had suspense, it had that intrigue throughout the movie. It's extremely engaging. It's got outstanding performances. It's funny and it's emotional. What else can you ask for, right? And it's a small movie, right? It's not like one of those over the top South Indian movies, or one of these masala entertainers. In spite of not having all of this, there is enough of masala in the movie as well for you to digest, without it causing indigestion to you. So that's, I think I spoke for the most part of it, but I want you to also share what was it that you were intrigued by, and what kind of emotions you were left with when you saw the movie.
So I'm a big fan of Vijay because not only does he do like lead hero movie, he does all range of age group. He could be young, old, whatever. Here he is pretty old, and he also does gender all gender roles. Like he has played a transvestite in Super Deluxe, and he could be anything literally. I feel, and I mean he comes across as a really humble person in real life, and but like he's a master actor, no doubt, and he chooses his films very wisely. And films come to him. Films find him. Great films find him. About this movie, I like that it starts off almost as a comedy, as if it's going to stay in a non-dark. It's not going to turn dark, but it turns very, very, very dark. It
Mm.
turns brutal, disgusting. At some points, you're disgusted by the actions, and your perception changes because, let's say, the police officer starts as a something, and then he ends up as something else, and most of them do. And yeah, as Karthik said, the layers of onions keep peeling, and you discover one truth after the other, and the ending is satisfying. And I think Karthik was very happy to uncover the or guess the ending because he's as twisted as somebody who wrote this movie. Because Karthik tells me these kind of plots all the time, where I'm like, what? How did you even think of that? That's really dark. That's really twisted. Yeah, but a dark movie,
there is
but
a
very
There
satisfying
is a
ending.
connection between this movie and my movie, Karma Strikes. And please watch our movie. Please encourage us. We are outsiders. We made the movie with our own money, selling our houses. So please watch our movie, Karma Strikes. Although this review is for different purposes, but I just wanted to recommend. I can't stop recommending my movie. It is on Z5 and it is also on YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube. I'll be posting the link. But there is a connection between this movie and my movie, Karma Strikes. And I told Afreen that I could have made Karma Strikes like this. So if you watch Karma Strikes and you try to correlate, it is almost like Karma Strikes is from the point of view of Anurag Kashyap in Maharaja. That's how I wrote Karma Strikes. Whereas Vijay Sethupathi is the main
Mm.
character here. In
Mhm.
my movie, Anurag Kashyap would have been is the main character. And the movie surrounds around
Yeah.
Anurag Kashyap. So there is that connection. So
I mean,
yes,
our neighbor said that this Karma Strikes was so twisted, like dark for a regular person, and for Karthik's personality, it was pretty dark. And it's like, it sounds like as if you really had an affair and you really went through this. And I was like high-fiving Joe, his name is Joey. I was like, high five Joey. I really feel this happened to him and he really wrote this. And yeah, but that's the mark of a good movie and a good movie maker, that it makes you feel as if it really happened. It is a figment of their imagination or not, but the audience feels as if it really happened. So yeah,
Yeah.
Karthik jokes that he has an 18-year-old girl somewhere, his kid.
Yeah, so in my movie, the main protagonist who also has an extramarital affair has an 18-year-old girl, and as apparently, I don't want to spoil my own movie. Okay, that's about it. But there are a lot of things in the movie that couldn't have happened to me. That's what I was trying to tell her. Anyways, Maharaja, once again, coming back to Maharaja, it's a must watch. Please watch it. It's already become very popular. I think it's got the maximum number of views on Netflix. So if the movie
Ah,
is on Netflix, in case you missed it on the theater, you should have watched this movie in theater. If ever there is a rerun, please watch it in the rerun. It's a theater movie. I didn't watch it in India. I would have loved to watch it with the crowd who whistles and all. Not a lot of whistle movements, but even the size would have been exciting to hear, right? When people have those movements. But it's one of those movies which has got almost everything. So please watch it. It is a must watch. I think you missed one point that you had mentioned while watching the movie. So there is this guy who is extremely heavy built and
yeah.
he looks like a gunda, he looks like a rogue Don type of person. And there is another guy who looks like a simpleton,
Mm.
right? And their
Harmless.
characters are exactly opposite to how
Yeah.
they look like. So that's also another thing, another takeaway you want to
Yeah,
say
I
about
mean,
that.
yeah, the movie changes your perception about what seems is not what actually is, and what you
Yeah.
perceive somebody as now, the next minute it could be something else altogether. The movie starts at some comedy and normal, and then it turns into darkness and something else altogether different. So, yeah, it'll change your perception every minute, and the destination is completely different from where the initial journey starts from. So, amazing movie. Our idea is to spread love for movies. We love movies and we watch many, 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 many movies. Almost we watch like 100 movies in a year, more than 100 in a year in theater. That's every third day we are in a movie theater. So that's our love for movies, and our idea to review these movies is to spread love for these movies. So go ahead and watch it.
Please do. That's it from our end. Thank you for watching us and please subscribe to our channel. We also post about travel. So we are travel bloggers, movie reviews, and many more things. We are going to keep adding a lot more things. Film director, film producers as well. So a lot of things that we have a lot of hats that we are wearing and we keep changing those hats. So please follow us and please watch our videos. Thank you again.
Thank you, Karthik.
Thank you.